Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Before we dive into today's unbelievable story, make sure to hit that like button, share this video with your friends, subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss another shocking true revenge story. Trust me, you'll want to hear this one until the very end. Imagine working at a hotel where the manager doesn't just ignore rules, she bends and breaks them at every opportunity. She cheats employees out of their pay, insults the owner behind closed doors, and even brings her untrained husband into the kitchen to cook for guests, all while expecting the staff to cover for her mistakes. It sounds unbelievable, but it really happened. And the most shocking part? She thought she was untouchable, until Stephanie decided to fight back. Stephanie had been working at the Grand Elm Hotel for years. She was loyal, hardworking, and the type of employee who always went the extra mile. Guests loved her, coworkers respected her, and the hotel ran smoothly when she was on duty. But everything changed the day Mary arrived. Mary was the new general manager, hired by a management company with the reputation of fixing hotels. Fixing this hotel, however, seemed to mean one thing: making life miserable for everyone who worked there. From the very first day, Mary made her power clear. She micromanaged the staff, dismissed any complaints, and quickly began firing people left and right, all under the guise of budget efficiency. Housekeepers vanished from the schedule without warning, restaurant staff were cut in half, and front desk clerks were expected to work doubles on the busiest days. Stephanie, loyal as ever, picked up the slack without complaint, but inside, the tension was building. Mary's abuses weren't limited to scheduling. She brought her husband into the kitchen to cook for the restaurant guests. He wasn't trained, wasn't paid, and didn't follow any of the hotel's strict hygiene standards. Guests noticed: burnt eggs, undercooked burgers, and cold food orders were common. Yet Mary brushed off every complaint. "Food is food," she told Stephanie once, her voice dripping with condescension. "If it's hot, they'll eat it." Stephanie noticed other red flags too. Paychecks were being altered, overtime hours were mysteriously erased. When employees questioned Mary, she laughed and said, "You must have miscounted. I don't make mistakes." And behind closed doors, she sent emails ridiculing the hotel owner, calling her stupid and incompetent. Stephanie had accidentally stumbled across one of these emails, and it made her blood boil. Despite all of this, Stephanie endured. She had bills to pay, responsibilities to handle, and a strong sense of duty. But Mary's cruelty kept escalating. One particularly busy Friday evening, the hotel was overbooked. Guests began arriving in waves, and the lobby was chaotic. Stephanie walked in at 3 p.m. to find nothing prepared, no pre-assigned keys, no housekeeping updates, and a backlog of complaints from early arrivals. Mary appeared behind the counter, her purse slung casually over her shoulder. "Good luck tonight," she said, her smile thin and calculating. Stephanie's voice trembled slightly. "You're leaving? Now?" Mary shook her head. "I have plans. You'll manage." And with that, Mary walked out, leaving Stephanie completely alone. For a moment, panic threatened to rise, but Stephanie took a deep breath. She assessed the situation and got to work. Guests were already shouting, one complaining about a broken AC, another demanding clean linens, a third furious about a room that hadn't been cleaned. Stephanie promised solutions she didn't yet have, juggling phones, computer systems, and guest frustrations with practiced skill. But inside, a spark ignited. Stephanie realized this was her moment. Mary had left intentionally, trying to set her up for failure. But instead of breaking, Stephanie began quietly plotting her revenge. She reached out to the two remaining front desk clerks and whispered, "If Mary calls, don't answer. Just let her call." They nodded. Stephanie knew Mary lived an hour away. She gave her time to drive home, ignoring the first call that buzzed on her phone. Then, when the chaos reached a boiling point, Stephanie made her move. She calmly removed her uniform shirt, folded it neatly on the counter, and walked out in just her bra. The lobby fell silent for a split second, then erupted into confusion. Guests gasped, whispered, and shouted. Some laughed nervously. Others were furious. But Stephanie didn't look back, she had a bigger plan. The front desk descended into utter chaos. Phones rang incessantly. Guests crowded the counter, demanding service that wasn't coming. The restaurant staff tried to step in, but none of them knew how to use the computer system to check in guests or print room keys. Reservations piled up, complaints multiplied, and tension escalated with every passing minute. Finally, someone called Mary. "What do you mean no one's at the desk?" she snapped. "She left," a server said nervously. "She just walked out." Mary's face turned red with rage. She called Stephanie. No answer. She called the other clerks. Silence. With no choice, she jumped in her car and drove the full hour back, fuming the entire way. When Mary arrived, the lobby looked like a battlefield. Guests shouted, luggage was scattered everywhere, and the front desk was overwhelmed. Mary tried to regain control, but it was too late. The damage had been done. Guests loudly referenced Stephanie's promise that Mary herself would personally resolve all issues. The power dynamic had shifted, Stephanie had taken control. But Stephanie's plan didn't end there. For weeks, she had been secretly gathering evidence. She had copies of paychecks showing erased overtime, screenshots of Mary mocking the owner, and even videos of Mary's husband cooking illegally in the kitchen. Stephanie compiled everything onto a thumb drive and sent it directly to the hotel owner. HR launched a thorough investigation, and the results were devastating for Mary. Every piece of evidence confirmed her misconduct. Within weeks, Mary was fired. The management company that had hired her was dismissed. Stephanie was offered her position back, this time with respect, authority, and a sense of victory she had never felt before. Mary had believed she was untouchable, that she could intimidate and manipulate her staff without consequences. But Stephanie proved that intelligence, patience, and courage could topple even the most overconfident tyrant. The terrible manager had fallen, and the employee she tried to crush had delivered the ultimate revenge. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss another shocking true story.